right, go ahead and read it.
And well, where does it start? I'm like, oh yeah, it's that short. Okay. Robins cannot pass judgment on Stuart's art while Robin understands the art of Stuart too well to dismiss it. She does not understand it well enough to praise it. Robins cannot pass judgment on Stuart's. Robin understands the art of Stuart's too well to dismiss it. She does not understand it well enough to praise it. Wow. Okay. um okay. So she knows it too well to dismiss it, but not well enough to praise it, and ultimately cannot pass judgment on the art. Is the conclusion that she can't pass judgment?
Yeah. So our conclusion is Robins cannot pass judgment on Stuart's art. Well, why? Why
Apparently.
Robins? Because Robins understands the art too well to dismiss it, and she does not understand it well enough to praise it, so therefore she cannot pass judgment, supposedly.
So allegedly.
Apparently, this is our reasoning, and this is why Robins cannot pass judgment.
Okay, I will accept it. I feel like it's one of those stimuluses where you're just like, I'm gonna accept it, but because I'll fight it.
Yes, that's a great point, and that's why I love necessary assumption questions, because it's like it's not our job to prove the conclusion. Our job is just like, all right, well, this is true. If this is true, this also has to be true. And we just have to let it be.
Yeah, instead of trying to fight it or be like,
right, just let it. Yeah, it's like, and I love that about being an attorney, because I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter what I think, this is what the law thinks. That's all necessary assumption questions are. It doesn't matter what I think, this is what the conclusion is, yo. Like,
yep. Okay. So A, in order to pass judgment on Stuart's art, Robin must be able to either dismiss it or to praise it in order to pass judgment. I feel like that's the other way around. Or am I I feel like they got it reversed. Or is that not true? Because if the conclusion is pass judgment, then it should be the other way.
well, okay, let's skip this one for now.
Okay. B, if art can be understood well, it should be either dismissed or praised. I feel like that's also reversed. But okay. Yeah, I feel like in my brain it would be the other way.
Okay.
C, in order to understand Stuart's art, Robbins must be able to pass judgment on it. Well, that's the conclusion. All the caffeine just hit me at once.
Okay, so no, you're right. This is our conclusion. I'll help you on this one. So, in order to understand the art, we must be able to pass judgment on it. Well, do we care about understanding art?
I don't.
No, we're talking about passing judgment.
Ultimately,
like,
right.
In order to understand the art, we must be able to pass judgment. Well, we're saying we can't pass judgment on it. So, I guess I don't like, it's kind of one of those where it's like, well, that's not what we're talking about.
Okay. Stuart's art can be neither praised nor dismissed. I feel like this is one that I'm like, I don't know what that means. So maybe if I negate it, I will know if this works for the argument.
Our conclusion is just that Robbins cannot pass judgment on Stuart's art. It does not need to be true that Stuart's art cannot be praised nor dismissed.
Okay.
Like, cannot be praised nor dismissed. Cool, but what about other people? Like, this is saying, like, this is way too broad about Stuart. We're talking about Robbins not being able to.
Okay, right.
Stuart's absolutely could be praised or dismissed by someone else.
And
Robbins still couldn't be able to pass judgment on it.
Okay, that makes sense. E, if Robbins understands art well, she will praise it. No.
Right, because we're talking about her not being able to pass judgment on Stuart's art.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're down to A and B, the ones that you thought were both backwards.
If art cannot be understood well, it should be either dismissed or praised. It shouldn't be. Oh. I think A is too strong.
All right, so A is saying in order to pass judgment, Robbins must be either to dismiss it or praise it.
Mm-hmm.
So what if we change this one to say in order to pass judgment on Stuart's art, Robin does not need to be able to dismiss it or praise it. So it's saying we don't need to dismiss it or praise it. What would happen to our argument?
Dismiss it or to praise it. I mean, she does. I guess I'm trying to figure out how the understanding ties into that. So would that mean that she doesn't understand it at all?
Okay, so we're saying our conclusion is Robbins cannot judge Stuart's art because while she understands the art too well to dismiss it,
Mm-hmm.
so she can't dismiss it. So Robert cannot pass judgments on Stuart's art because she can't dismiss it
Mm-hmm.
and she can't praise it.
Mm-hmm.
So our reasoning is the reason that she can't pass judgment is because she cannot dismiss it and she cannot praise it.
Okay.
So A is saying in order to pass judgment, Robbins must be able to either dismiss it or praise it. Because if we negate that, it says in order to pass judgment, Robbins does not need to be able to dismiss it or praise it.
Well, so then that makes the argument fall apart.
Because if she does not need to dismiss it or praise it, then it's like, okay, well, all of this goes out the door then.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. These little stimuluses, you would think that they would be so easy because it's less information to hold on to, and then
but they all just overlap.
This happens.
Okay, so then B is saying if art can be understood well, it can be either dismissed or praised. Well, cool, but this isn't talking about her not understanding it well enough to praise it. It's just saying if art can be understood well. So art Stewart's well to dismiss it. So it says, well, Robin understands the art of Stewart too well to dismiss it. She does not understand it well enough to praise it. All this is saying is if art can be if it can be understood well, it should be either dismissed or praised. I'm trying to think why this one is wrong. Like it should not be dismissed or does not need to be dismissed or praised. Because we're talking about, I guess it just comes back like we're talking about passing judgment, not about like what it takes. Like if you can understand it well, it should do things. And it really doesn't really matter here because we're saying that she does understand the art, but it's too well to dismiss it and not well enough to praise it. So this actually is almost like contradictory to what our stimulus says.
Okay.
Because she's not doing either of these things. Oh, that's why I was A. I don't know why I crossed A off. I meant to say it is A.
Oh, I understand. I don't know.
Okay.
My brain